Hey guys, Jeff at Hubie's Garage, and just giving you guys a little bit of an update. I've been out working on the garage for quite some time. Major cleanup, organize, get rid of stuff, sell stuff, all that kind of stuff. So just give you a little bit of update of what's going on and what everything looks like. And got a couple of items that have come in the mail, some parts, some Tri-5 parts, and we will go ahead and pop those open and be using those in some upcoming projects. Okay, got everything pretty much done. I need to move the Volkswagen engine over to the side. Here we go. This is it. So, got everything tucked away, put in its perfect place. Still a couple little things to deal with, but everything else that's out is either in process, waiting to be picked up, sold, waiting to go back on cars, that kind of stuff. So, we'll just start over here. Moved my solvent tank over here. And it quickly became more workbench space. But these are all interior window trim. It's getting ready to go to the powder paint. So I've got a couple of items that are going to go out to powder paint. That's why this stuff is sitting here. It's all ready to go, and we'll get that out soon. We talked about this before. 1.5 inch stainless steel tubing. We're going to build a new one. That's going to go off to a muffler shop that have a guy that's going to put that together. So that's another project. I got all of our steel and aluminum. It fit real nicely in behind the solvent tank, out of the way. It's not going to cut your hands. Got the top of the toolbox cleaned up. Toolbox, everything's organized. And we got the totes. Got everything labeled. All the parts that are going to be for future projects. Got totes that are readily available to identify, pull out, take away, use. All the stuff here in the corner is actually my son's stuff. This is basically where he keeps all of his toolbox stuff, his drills, his buffing wheels, grinding wheels, all that kind of stuff. He's got everything in shoe boxes, which is great. And this box is a current project that he's working on. And no sooner did I get the garage cleaned out that his front bench seat, carpet kit, steering wheel ended up right smack in the middle of the garage, because he's working on a project on his Nova. He's basically doing a new interior, new carpet for his Nova, putting a fuel line in, and that's his project right now. So you see his fuel line straightener, steel tubing straightener, his tools and everything. But anyway, we've got everything set up in totes. Everything is put away, it's organized, it's labeled. I do have another project that I'm working on here. These are the trailer parts. I actually went to Hilco, which is our fastener store, bought a bunch of grade 8 hardware, and should be back on the trailer now that I got the garage all cleaned up. But lots of places that now have homes, and the reason for doing all this is so that I won't have to look in 25 different places for one item. So just the way it goes. So got all my miscellaneous parts. They're basically labeled and in cans, and you know, if I have to dump something out, I got to dump it out, but at least I have a container to put them right back into. Got all my spare parts up here on the shelf. A lot of that stuff's ready to go for the Del Rey, for the new gasser project. Got some gun stuff, some fire light bar stuff, my other parts. My carburetor has got to be rebuilt here shortly. Valve covers, oil pan stuff for the Del Rey. as well as the mid plate and bell housing. I also have this actually is empty. I got a new container because our old container of Berryman is it's getting old and it's about ready to start leaking, so we're going to change that out. Got the distributor machine, the bandsaw. Basically that's about the best place I could put it. My chainsaw is about the best place I could put it for now. It's going to end up going to Montana. And I got my center link here that's going to be restored, so I got that out. And then the shock bar from Earl Williams, that's going to get powder painted also, so that actually should be, as well as the drive shaft hoop. Those two items are going to need to be put in the powder paint pile that I have over on the parts cleaner. So I didn't really have a place to put my sandblast cabinet because I haven't really had time to put that together, but I just went ahead and put it over here. I got all the parts to put the sandblast cabinet together inside the container. These are some of my, this is what I use to hold my pistons. And right now I just happen to have my center caps for my wheels for the Bel Air two-door sedan. And then here is the 350 010 long block. And I just got a little cheapy barbecue cover to cover that, but it's a full, complete standard bore long block that's all ready to go as far as a core and being rebuilt. Back here, I think it's probably kind of hard to see, but I do have a third member back there. It's a 290 gear. It's for the Pontiac Olds rear end. Got my camshafts back here. They're on end in a box, 2 boxes, and very interesting find. I'd forgotten that I had some of that, so I'll go into that later. I also have my 1 gallon Purple Power Prestone coolants in a gas can, and then back underneath in there I've got 2 more third members. I think I got my 614 posi, and I've got a 456 posi for a Chevy 10 bolt. And then we also have some clamps, gas can. These are the oil cans that are underneath the solvent tank. Forgot about that. Got a lot of stuff that we put up high. My son had picked this up at work. They were getting rid of it. It's an old catalog rack that you'd see at the auto parts stores. So you didn't really have a good place to hang it. He wants to keep it. I think it's a good idea. So we hung it up there, and when I did that, he's going to be working on his back seat here shortly, but we just went ahead and hung it up there. Got an old junior dragster seat up there, and then hung our much needed extension cords. Let's see if we can see this a little better. Went ahead and put some racks up there to put my stainless trim, fuel lines, you know, anything that's long that really doesn't have a place, that needs to be out of the way, where the stuff's not going to get bent. I got my golf cart uprights. I got some plexiglass, a lot of stainless steel for the Tri-5s. It's kind of all up there right now. This pile right here, this pile is pretty much what was left of what the original pile was. I just have 2 junior dragster wheels that are going to go bye-bye here soon. I got 2 more third members. I got a old Pontiac 456 posi right there, and then this is actually my 586 spool, old Pontiac, that's going to go in the gasser. I thought I had the 586 in the car. I found out I've really got the 557, so that's probably why I was pulling 4th gear in the car right at the lights. So got one more thing to film. I just received something in the mail today and wanted to give a shout out, as well as get this opened up so you guys could see what it is. But I want to give a shout out to Dennis from Caveman Garage. Now Dennis, if you've been following along on his channel, he's been doing some rust repair on his black 55 Chevy Gasser, and he recently purchased some parts from Thomas Sutton, and basically got the back half, the interior shell back half from a four-door sedan, and he's using the inner wheel wells and whatnot to graft into his car. But Dennis was able to secure the trunk bars or the torsion bars out of the parts that he bought from Thomas, and he shipped them to me. And I am just forever grateful for this and for what Dennis has done. And if you guys don't know Dennis, I would highly suggest getting over to his page, to his channel, I should say, and checking out what he's doing right now. The car's finally going back together, and they're doing amazing work over there, and that is going to be one special car. It actually is a special car, but Dennis is really going through it and making it his, and he and Michelle are really putting a lot of work into it and going through and fixing some things that needed to be fixed, some repairs that needed to be done after all the years of racing that car did. You know, Dennis is really turning that car around, and I'm just really thankful for him for getting these torsion bars to me, because they are difficult to find. Thomas and some of the other guys, some of the big Tri-5 dismantlers that are across the country. I know one of the ones that I've dealt with in the past, they just, for some reason, just didn't happen to have torsion bars. So this was really great that Dennis was able to secure these and get these in the mail to me. He wrapped them up, and they just arrived today. So let's get them open. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's get a blade, and like he did a really nice job of packaging. This is, if you've ever done eBay or shipped stuff, this is one of the things that can really make or break the item as far as it getting to you and arriving safely. And Dennis did a great job here. Get the lid open here. There we go. All right. So these actually go in the trunk. They actually cross over at one point, and this even has the original rubber covering for where the bars rub. You could even see right here where you can see the old mark of where and the mark on each one where they've rubbed against each other. And they basically go inside the trunk, and then you twist them into place, and that keeps tension on the hinges, so that when you lift the trunk lid up, that heavy trunk lid, it will lift, kind of a lift assist, kind of like a modern day version of that today would be the air shocks that you would see on a hatchback or on a liftback, or like on a Suburban, the glass lid, minivan, whatever. Back in those days, they didn't have a lift assist or like an air shock or a gas shock that helped lift the weight. They used these torsion bars. So I am really, really happy to see these. These are going to get stripped down and painted. So if you're not real sure what the trunk torsion bars are or what they look like, here's the bars from Dennis. This is the trunk area of my Street 55, my red and white 55. And you can see here, the bars basically have an anchor point behind this little plate cover that's tied into the hinge, so it basically puts pressure on the hinge to go into the up position. There's two bars. It might be a little hard to see, but they cross over right here, and then you twist them into position, and they're adjustable, and then this is where they end up, and that's where that torsion, or that these bars basically become under tension, because you twist the bar into one of these latches, and the bars originally are anchored behind this plate. But it basically allows the hinge of the trunk to have less weight on it, and it basically promotes the hinge to pop up when you open up the trunk. So got a little bit of junk in here, but you can see that the trunk doesn't come down as easily and it's much heavier, but the torsion bars take the weight off the trunk lid itself. So just got a package in the mail. This is part of the fun part about trying to track down Tri-5 parts. You know, years ago the stuff was everywhere, and you had many different places to find the parts, whether it be the high performance swap meet in Long Beach that we had that was great, or even better, the Pomona swap meet, which is huge. You know, those places are still out there, but there are just not as many parts anymore. Craigslist isn't quite the same as what it used to be, and we still have everything. We used to have the recycler. That was another great one. Everything today, what it's kind of morphed into is Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. So this one, however, this item, believe it or not, came from a tip from another YouTuber. So if you know of Mike's 55 Chevy Garage, Mike was the one who gave me the tip on a guy who had Tri-5 heaters that lives up his way up in Northern California. And Mike immediately gave me the phone number to Dan. And Dan's got a couple of cars. He's got a 35 Chevy and he's got a 40 Ford pickup, and just happened to have some Tri-5 heaters. I'm not sure if they were from another project or what the story was, but anyway, struck a deal. I talked with Dan, struck a deal with Dan, and boy, this thing wasn't supposed to get here until Monday. It arrived Saturday, so it got here early. So let's pop it open and see what we got. This is a heater that's going to go in the Del Rey, which the Del Rey is the latest gasser. It's basically the copy. I'm going to build the copy of my dad's degas car that he ran at Lions Drag Strip back in '67, and let's see. So this is the heater that's going to go in that car, because the car is pretty much once it's done, we'll be making the move up to Montana, and we're definitely going to need a heater in the car. So let's see what Dan did here. It looks like it's packed really nice. It wasn't loose, which is great. I've done eBay for quite a few years and done some other stuff with some clubs where you have to package things, and that's always been a big pet peeve of mine, is packaging, because some people are really good at it and some people really suck at it. So wow, this is a really, really nice, clean unit. This is the blower and the intake assembly that's on the passenger side underneath the dash. Wow, it even has a new gasket on it. So that's nice. It looks like this thing's been rebuilt. It looks like there's a little bit of a bend here, but that's pretty normal because this is the stud that goes through the firewall. And when you tighten that down, it's going to distort the panel or pull it out of shape. But still very nice. Looks like it's got a brand new motor on it, or a rebuild. It says Unimotor, made in Canada. So that's pretty awesome. Looks like it's got some aftermarket screws on it, but that's fine. We're going to end up going through and restoring this unit, and I've got some paint ideas that I'm going to try for it, so that will hopefully make it stand out and be a little bit more unique. And we'll see if we can get one that get it to function real well. So Dan told me that the heater core and everything on this one was good. Again, he did a real good job of packaging, some real good bubble wrap here, and everything's taped down real good. So this is a nice unit. I mean, this is as nice as what I'd find in my Bel Air two-door sedan. This thing's definitely not been sitting out. It's a deluxe heater, so it's got the flapper. It's got the cable mount where the one cable goes to open the flapper, so you can flip it from heat to defrost. And this is actually where the actual motor, this basically fits under the center. This is where the heat comes out, right at the center tunnel of the car, and then there's a rubber gasket. I don't know how well this is, but that's how it connects, right like that with the gasket. And this is all the way over to the passenger side. So Very, very, very nice unit. Very, very happy. Dan was just great to deal with over the phone and back and forth with texting. So again, I'll go through this. We'll strip it down. We'll put new gaskets in it. Paint it the color that I want to paint it. Make sure that everything works real well. And this is going to go in the Del Rey. So I'm real thankful to Mike for getting me his Dan's number. And I've really happy to have this. There were 2 of these that were available locally here. There was one, I wouldn't say local, but they're close enough to drive and pick up. I had one that was supposedly in Seal Beach, which isn't too far from me. And then I had another one that was out in the Simi Valley area, which I drive out there quite a bit because I've got my other Tri-5 buddy that lives out that way. But trying to contact those guys, nobody had heater units for sale anymore. So I just was felt like I was lucky to at least find somebody in California that could get it to me relatively quickly. The shipping was not cheap, but you know, it just the way things are today. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much, Tri-5 community. You guys have done great. Mike, Dan, you know, if we can help a brother out, that's what we do, and that's what I love about this community. The Tri-5 guys, the Tri-5 channels have just been a great brotherhood of guys that I'm very thankful to be a part of. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and yeah, we'll get this thing restored, and you'll see a video on it coming up soon. Take care, guys.